So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to class. I'm going to take you over to the Blackboard screen. And I want to make sure that everybody who's not here in our video knows how to do this. And I'll also show you where your chapter test is. So if you guys know, we got our lessons folder here. And when you go to your lessons, this is the lab assignment worksheet that you're going to open and fill out. So here's the 3 steps we talked about before, how to do your lab assignment. Your first assignment is due by midnight on September 11th. Okay, that's going to be next Friday. So these are the steps to do, and here's the document in blue letters here. How do you submit your assignment? How do you turn it in? Go up to the Chapter 1 folder, and it's going to be down at the bottom. You can see the 2 things that I'm grading next week are way down here at the bottom. So we go all the way down, and these 2 things you're going to turn in to me by next Friday. So when you're ready to do the lab assignment, again, I have the same Word document. Click on this, and you're going to record your video here. Okay, you record your lab assignment, and then you're going to email me your lab assignment document, send it in an email, and then you have your video recorded. So I'm going to grade 2 things. To do your chapter test next week, you need to open the Word document. That's where you're going to type in your answers, okay? And there's 2 listening, there's 2 audio portions on the quiz. So on the quiz, you'll see it says 1.1. So you'll click on this 1.1, and then it will ask you for another section, 1.2, and you click on this one, and that's how you're going to be able to answer the questions. Okay? So when you're ready to do that, you open these files on your computer, you click on the assignment. The files are here also in blue letters, okay? And when you're ready to submit your document, your Word document quiz, you click on Browse My Computer, and then you click on your document that you saved on your computer, the quiz that you saved, okay? So I know that's a lot of steps, and then you click Submit at the bottom right. It's a lot of steps to take, but my advice is to try to do this before Friday, next Friday. And then if you have trouble, you can email me, and then we can work it out before the due date. Okay. Due dates are important. If you turn something in after the due date, then I count 10 points off. Okay. So that's that. Any questions about this?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Where is the that one that you're talking about, the Chapter 1 quiz? I'm trying to find, but
The Chapter 1 quiz. You know what? I think I have not uploaded it yet because
yes,
I don't want anybody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on mine. Let me go down here and see. Yeah, I have the ability to hide the the document or the things from the students. Yes. So this weekend, I'm going to open this one. So yes, thank you for saying that. I forgot it was hidden. It is here, it's ready to go, but I'm hiding it because I don't want anybody to take it now. It's a little bit too early because we still have a couple of things to do. So yes, the lab assignment is ready to go. It's up and ready for you guys. The Chapter 1 test will be available this weekend. Okay, so good. I'm glad you said that. Anybody else have a question? Questions about what's coming up? Okay, and you guys remember that Monday there's no video lesson, but I will post the PowerPoint it will be textbook assignment 4. Right now you don't have it, but I will put it there this weekend. And then either this weekend or Monday, Tuesday, you can go in and review the PowerPoint lesson. Just do it before Wednesday, because Wednesday we have another video that we're going to do together. All right, it's a lot to do in this folder, but we're getting through it. We're almost to the end of this one. Okay, any other questions? Okay, good. I hope you're prepared. I hope you feel ready and confident about what we're doing in our class. Almost all of you still do not have your book. So I have a good announcement about that. We are going to have our books available in the South Campus bookstore today sometime. So call the bookstore today and double check that they have that book. The manager's name is Roman Coronado. And Roman told me that he's going to have those books today. So that is the goal for us, right? By the end of the week, we want to have our book and we want to have our online access. Today's lesson is going to be over pages 23 through 28. I have posted in this presentation several pages from the book to help you to review and stuff. I've also put the audio portion of the book in Blackboard. So were you guys able to do the homework from our last class? Remember last class? Nobody had the book. It was pages 20 to 23. Was anybody able to do that? Was anybody able to do the homework? Oh, Lucia, you couldn't, because I posted the pages. Oh, you said no book. Remember that, let me show you in Blackboard what I did. Okay, this right here was our homework, assignment 2, and right at the top, the presentation, I put all the pages that you needed in here, the pages to the textbook. Okay, and then right here, the listening track, this was the listening part of the homework. So you actually have everything you need to do that homework right here. You don't need your book. So maybe, Lucia, if you haven't done it, you can go back and do the homework. I'm going to give the answers today. So this video will be recorded. I know everybody's a little bit like 2 steps behind, but the work that you need is here. You just need to click on this and look at those pages, and then the answers will be given today. And I'll post the video today right here, video 3. Okay, so I think you have what you need, even though you don't have your book. Okay, was anybody else able to do the homework that was due today? Did anybody click on that and do it? Where are you guys? Are you there?
Yeah, no, teacher, I wasn't able.
It's so quiet over there. Turn your microphones on. Okay, no, Alan, you couldn't do it either. Oh, no. I sent you guys a message to tell you that I posted the books. Remember, Lucia, you asked me if I could put the page there, and I did. I did for you guys. Well, at least now we have the answers, so maybe you can go back and do that when you get a chance, okay? So here's the answers to exercise 6 on page 20. This was the homework. Here's the answers. Exercise 6, page 20, and exercise 7, page 21. These are your answers here. Okay, so now you have what you need to do the work, and now you have the answers. Okay, the reason why I'm doing all of this now is because we have to finish our chapter and take our test next Friday. So it's really important that you get the answers and that you're able to complete the work, okay? Because these types of questions will be on the quiz. You will have to use the yet, however, even though, and things like that. Does anybody have questions about exercise 6 or 7? This is page 20 and 21. Okay, then let's go to the next page. And if you guys remember, oh no, you can't see that. The PowerPoint that I posted has this page on it. It's slide number, well, let's see, where is it? Yeah, it's slide number 15 has a picture of this page 22, okay? All right, if nobody has a question about that, at least you've got the answers here. Exercise 2, we've got the vocabulary words here on page 22 and 23. All right, so possible things you can do with this is do your homework today, check your answers here that I posted in this video, and then you can email me any questions you still have. Okay. There is a part on the test next week that has word families, the noun, the verb, the adjective, and adverb for all of these words. Okay, so Lucia, go ahead. What's your question?
Teacher, this is a homework you gave us last Monday.
I gave it this Monday, yeah, 2 days ago.
Yes.
Yes.
Monday. Okay. Okay.
Okay, good question. Any other questions?
No,
Okay,
teacher.
guys. Okay, good. Well, there's your homework and there's your answers in the highlighted colors here. So we are ready now to go to today's lesson. So we're starting on page 23 in your book, and I'm going to go over the main concepts of today's lesson. And then we'll do some practice together. Okay, so even if you don't have your book, again, if you don't have your book, you can still follow along in my lesson today. And when you get your book, you can go back and do the practice. All right, so now I'm sharing the screen here. Let me move this. Okay. There we go. Back to our little PowerPoint. And by the way, in my normal classes, a couple of you have had classes with me before on campus. I never use PowerPoint. I really don't like it because I think it puts the focus on the computer instead of on us as a class. But because this is an electronic class that we're doing, I have to use it. And Lon, I am muting your microphone for you because there's a lot of noise over there. Okay, so keep it on mute unless you want to ask a question, please. Okay, good. So now it's nice and quiet, but don't fall asleep, okay? Get your coffee. Today our lesson is about pages 23 through 28, and we're going to cover three main areas or topics. We're going to look at modals of necessity, and then we're going to do a listening practice together, practice taking notes, and we'll talk about signposts and pronunciation, a little pronunciation practice, okay? Then we'll get our homework and everything we need for next week. So let's start with the modals of necessity. I am on page 23 of my book, and it has a couple of examples here, so I want to show you what they have in the book. We've got necessity and advice. Necessity and advice. Does anybody know the difference between necessity and advice? You can turn on your microphone and answer my question. What's the difference?
Necessity can be something you have to do, and
Yep.
advice, it's like a recommendation.
Very good. Is that you, Carolina?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. I can't see who's on the screen. So, yes, that is exactly right. Necessity is something that you need to do. It's an obligation. And advice is a recommendation or a suggestion about something to do. So, in this chapter, remember we're talking about animals, working animals, and so there are some people believe it's okay to let animals work, and other people believe no, we have an obligation to not make them work. So when we're talking about necessity and advice, it's really good to have these tools available because our topic will require us to use necessity and advice, okay? So I gave a couple of examples. If you look on the left side, we have have to. You can also change it to has, right? If the subject is singular, like he, she, it. But we've got the have and has to and a base form verb. Base form verb means we do not have ing or ed or an s on the base form verb. Okay, so this is necessity. The left side of your screen is necessity. Very important. It's obligation. On the right side of the screen, I'm going to give you examples about advice, and we're going to use should for advice. Okay, so let's look on the left side, have to. Animals have to find food, water, and a safe place to live. Okay, Lucia, turn on your microphone, Lucia, and tell me where is the base verb in this sentence?
The verb is have to find.
Okay, good. We've got have to, and then what's the base form verb?
It's a necessity.
Yeah, that's the meaning. But you see on the left side of my screen, I have have to plus base verb, right? So in this sentence, where is the base verb? Do you see it in my sentence? The base verb. It's a verb that does not have s or ing or ed. Yeah, find. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, you can mute your microphone again. Yeah, we've got find is the base verb. So we've got have to and then a base form verb. And that together, it creates necessity, the meaning of necessity. Very important. Okay, what about my second sentence with the question marks? I want to ask you about this one. People don't have to hurt animals. So remember, necessity is like obligation, very important. It's the same meaning as need to. So is it okay to use this form? I used it in the negative. Alan, can you turn on your microphone and answer this question? Is this a good sentence?
Yes, it looked like a good sentence.
Looks good. It's like saying it's very important not to hurt animals. Is that what it means?
Well, what I understand is like you don't you don't need to hurt animals.
You don't need to. Okay, that's kind of what we think it means, but there's a
Shouldn't.
problem.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to say something?
I want to change don't with shouldn't.
Okay. Well, if you say shouldn't, we have to take
People.
off the have to.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. People shouldn't hurt animals. The reason we cannot use the don't have to, Lan, you're right. We cannot use the don't have to because don't have to means don't have to means that it's okay, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. Okay, and in just a moment, I'm going to give you more examples with this one because a lot of students get confused. Don't have to is not the same as must not. Don't have to is not the same as shouldn't. Okay, don't have to means if you want to, it's okay, it's no big deal. There's no obligation. But what we want to say for this sentence, we want to say, hey, don't do it, right? Don't do it. You could get in trouble for that. So we want to use the shouldn't here, okay? And so let's look at should, and then we're going to I'll look at some more examples of these with you, okay? So should is like my best advice. I really believe that you should do what I'm asking. That's what it means. So you should give money to animal rights organizations. Okay? And you shouldn't get a pet if you can't take care of it well. Okay? So who can give me another example with should or shouldn't? Let's practice that one. Who wants to do it? Does someone have a question?
It could be, we should be in class every Monday and Wednesday.
That's right. We should be in our class every Monday and Wednesday at 8 or at 9:25, right? And not 9:40. Yay, that's good. Yeah, that's a good example. We should be in class every Monday and Wednesday. It's important for us to be here so we can learn better, right? That's a good example. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You should feed to animal. You should feed feral animal. So,
You should feed feral animals.
yes.
Okay, that's a good word. I like that word you used, feral. Feral
Feral, yes.
means kind of like a domesticated animal, like a cat or dog, but this
Yeah.
animal has never been touched by humans, so they're a little bit wild, right? So when you see dogs on the street, those are feral. They run away from you when you get close to them. Those are feral dogs. Yeah, so you say
No. I have
no?
seen cats, feral cat around me
Yeah.
in the temple. Yes, and they very friendly with me.
Okay.
And I also usually feed the animal at the park, like ducks and squirrels.
Right.
Squirrel, yeah,
Squirrels.
yeah, squirrels.
Right, right. So, so you should feed feral animals. That was Lan's sentence. I like that one. Good. Okay, let's look at some more examples. You guys can help me decide with these. Let's compare the meaning. Okay, so remember that don't have to and must not are very different. So let's look at the first one together. You don't have to cook dinner tonight. I'm going to order pizza. This is a correct way to use don't have to. Do you see that it means there's no obligation, there's no problem, just relax. This is telling somebody don't worry about it. This is giving good news to a person. You don't have to cook. You can just watch TV. I'm going to order pizza. Okay? This second one is very different. You must not abuse animals. You could go to jail for that. This is obligation, but we don't usually use must and must not in speaking. Have you noticed that with most Americans? They don't use must and must not. Like you don't hear people say, "Oh, I must go to the store today." Most of the time people say, "I have to go to the store,"
Yes.
right? So it's the same with must not. We don't really use it. So what we do use is can't. That means, hey, don't do it. It's very important that you don't do this. You can't turn left. Or we can also use shouldn't if it's a little bit less, strong or less important. So you can't turn left. The road is closed. This is very common to use in speech, okay? So just these three examples right here, they're all in the negative form, okay? And Lauren, is your microphone still on? If that's
Yes.
you, can you turn it off? Unless you want to say something. Yeah, that way it would be quiet. Okay, so you can't turn left. The road is closed. Okay. And then I have one more example here. You shouldn't turn left. It will take an extra 10 minutes to get to the theater if you turn left. This is a suggestion. So it is possible to turn left, but my advice is that you shouldn't turn left. It will take extra time. The one before it, you can't turn left. Why? Because the road is closed. There's no possibility to go that way. Okay? You shouldn't turn left. That one means there is a possibility to go that way, but I don't think it's a good idea. Okay, so this is comparing 4 different ways to use the negative forms of these expressions. Okay, so if you have a question about any of these or about the meaning of necessity and advice, I want you to turn your microphone on and ask me the question. Okay.
Yes, teacher. About must not, I have a question.
Yes.
Can we use a contraction with those words? Can I say mustn't?
Yes, you can. You can do that, but it's just rare to use it. It's rare to use it in speech. Most of the time you see must and must not, it's going to be in a written form. Like sometimes when I see a sign with must not, or on some type of form like a apartment lease or something like that, you'll see must not. We don't usually write mustn't just because it's informal. And then we don't usually say it because we prefer to use can't. So my short answer is yes, you can say mustn't, but it's just very rare.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you.
Yeah, good question. Alan, do you understand the difference in the meaning now with don't have to and must not?
Yes, must not is like you can't do that,
Right.
and don't have to is like it's not like a rule. You
Right.
can, but yeah.
Yes, good. Yeah. Good job. Okay. Um, Anybody else have a question? Turn on your microphone and ask. Okay. So I think
Teacher,
we're ready. Yes, go ahead.
yeah, this is Lucy. I don't know what is happening with my internet, but I can see the blackboard. I'm just listening you, and my question
Oh,
is if you are going to post this video today, because I would like to check
oh,
all that you are. Yeah.
I'm so sorry you can't see it. Yes, I'm going to post this.
Okay.
But
Thank you, teacher.
yes,
I,
it will be available in the Collaborate recordings in a couple of hours, but I'm going to get it transcribed with subtitles, and that will be available in the lessons folder, hopefully by 5 o'clock tonight or this evening. Yeah.
okay. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of barriers to learning here. You trying to
Yeah,
learn and
don't worry. Yeah, I'm still here and I'm just listening.
okay, well, let me try this. I'm going to click on my stop sharing screen, and I want to try one thing to get you back in to what we're doing.
Okay.
And can you see the screen now with the students' names?
Yes.
Okay. So let me see if I can share this with you again. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint screen now with the examples?
No, teacher, I can
Still not.
I
Okay.
can
All
see the
right.
blackboard. Yeah, don't
Well,
worry.
yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. We tried. Okay, so let's do some practice together. This is a page from your book, okay? It's just copied it here. So we have a picture of a car, and then right next to the car, there's a sign that has the letter P in it and a line through it. And we have two sentences. You shouldn't park here, or you don't have to park here. So let me call on, let's see, Isabel. Isabel, what do you think is a correct sentence for this one? A or B?
I think is A.
Yes, you shouldn't park here because there's a no parking sign, right? That's good. If we say you don't have to park here, that means it's okay to park here or you can park somewhere else. But when you say don't have to, it's because the person doesn't want to do something. Like, remember my example about cooking? I don't want to cook. I want to watch Netflix. So, so if my husband says, "Hey, you don't have to cook tonight. I'll order pizza." And then I say, "Oh, good." So whenever we use don't have to, it's because we're giving good news, good information to another person. In this picture, this is not good information. We need to say it more, it's more serious. You shouldn't park here. Okay? So the answer is A. Good. Carolina, can you help us with number 3? We have a picture of a door and it says free entry.
It's B. You don't need to buy a ticket.
Good. You don't need to buy a ticket. And Carolina, can I also say you don't have to buy a ticket? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. You don't have to buy a ticket. Yay! I can go for free. That's good news. So yes, you don't need to buy a ticket has the same meaning as you don't have to buy a ticket. Okay, so good. And let's do the next one. Say, Lan, can you turn on your microphone and tell me A or B? We have a man that has a
Yes.
crazy shirt on at work.
I choose letter A. He shouldn't wear this to work.
Good. He shouldn't wear this to work. He has a cap on and a little t-shirt, and he's at work. He shouldn't wear this to work. Yes, that's correct. Letter A. All right, good job. Okay, now we're going to do some listening practice. So what I want you to do, class, with this, we can do this in different ways. If you do not have your book, I want you to take a picture of this on your phone, and I'm going to leave this screen in just a moment, and we're going to do some listening, and you can write your answers on paper. Okay, so in just a moment, we're going to do some listening and take notes about what we're listening to. Okay, so what is the topic? The topic is going to be polar bears and some threats that they're facing right now. A polar bear is that really huge white colored bear that lives in the Arctic. They live up in by the North Pole where there's lots of ice, okay? On the right side of the screen, you see 3 vocabulary words. Okay, so I want everybody to repeat after me so you can practice pronunciation. Okay, repeat these words. Endangered.
Endangered.
Danger.
Danger.
Good. Okay, the next one. Threat.
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 Threat. Threat.
Threat. Good.
Threat.
Spanish speakers, I know that TH is sometimes hard. We got a threat. Okay. And then the third one, source.
Source.
Short.
Good.
Source.
Everybody say source.
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 Okay, let's talk about what these mean, and then we can do the listening portion. So endangered means that there is danger of this animal dying off, and then we don't have any more of those animals. Okay, so these animals are very rare. That's what we call endangered animals. I think polar bears are endangered, but I'm not sure. We will find out when we do the listening. And the word threat, threat. That's kind of a hard word to give a definition for. Does anybody have an idea of how to explain threat? What is a threat?
Threat is mean like similar people who want to money, and then they say that if you don't give me money, I'm threat
Yeah.
to kill you.
Right. Yeah, if you don't give me money, I'm going to shoot you. That is
threat.
threatening a person. Yeah, so it's basically a threat is something that causes another person or thing to be in danger. In danger. So let's say, for example, it like recently, you know, it was so hot outside and there was no rain, like all of July. It was very dry, right? So not having any rain is a threat to plants, right? Plants start to die because they don't have water, they don't have rain. So threat is just something that causes another thing to be in a dangerous situation or a bad situation. Okay, that's a threat. And then we have the word source. Source. Let's see, Lucia, do you know what source means?
Teacher, could you spell the word, please?
It's
Source.
it's SOURCE.
Source.
Have you heard that word before?
No, I don't.
Okay, no problem. Let's see, Carolina, do you know what source means?
No, teacher.
Okay, well that's good that we have this word up here. Source means where something comes from, the place that something comes from. So when I think of source, I think of a river. You guys know the Trinity River in Fort Worth that goes from Dallas through Arlington, Fort Worth. Okay, what is the source of the river? If you follow the river all the way back to the beginning, you probably find up in the mountains. I don't even know where, to be honest. Maybe in Arkansas or Kansas, but the source is where something begins. Okay. Another example of source would be if a person maybe is maybe they have headaches a lot and they start to get sick. We have to go to the doctor to find the source. The source would be the beginning or the cause of the problem. Maybe they have a brain tumor, or maybe there's another problem inside their body, and then we see the headache, we feel the headache, but that's not the source. The source is something that happened before that. Okay, so source we can use in a lot of different situations. It just means where something comes from. Okay, so are we ready to do the listening? Does everybody have a screenshot except for Lucia? I know you don't have a screenshot. Does everybody have their screenshot here?
Yes, teacher.
All right, so I'm going to go back and pull up our listening. And last time we tried the listening, you guys were able to hear the track. So I'm hoping this time will be the same. We're going to do, I believe it's 1.2. So let's see.
Hello.
Okay, so there's a woman talking about polar bears and the threats to polar bears. So as you're listening, you need to have a piece of paper and a pencil, and you're just going to take notes and practice catching the main points and the main ideas. Remember, one of my tips for taking notes is that we do not copy the whole sentence. Okay, there's no way we have time to copy every word. We just need to catch the main topics and the main ideas. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be 4 minutes.
I'd like to thank you all for coming. I know that you're all busy students, and I appreciate that you've taken the time to be here today. So, what do you think of when you hear the words climate change and global warming? If you're like most people, you think about warmer temperatures, floods, droughts, huge storms, and maybe polar bears. That's what I'm going to talk about today. The polar bear and the human threats to this beautiful, powerful, majestic animal. It's widely known that polar bears are now an endangered species. There are only about 26,000 polar bears in the world today, and it's believed that most of them will be gone by 2050 if nothing changes. There are several threats to polar bears, and all of them are due to climate change. The biggest threat is the loss of sea ice habitat. Climate change damages the sea ice that polar bears depend on for survival. Every summer, the ice melts and it freezes again in winter, but rising ocean temperatures mean that the ice stays melted for long periods each year, and when it does freeze, there's less and less of it. The disappearing ice has several negative effects. For example, it makes it difficult for polar bears to search for seals, their main source of food. Polar bears need to stand on ice to hunt for seals, so when there isn't enough ice, they become hungry and can even die from lack of food. A second threat is contact between humans and polar bears. When there is less sea ice, polar bears have to spend more time on land. This results in more contact with humans. When polar bears go near towns, people sometimes kill the bears to protect themselves. A third human threat to polar bears is industrial development, such as oil production and shipping. As the ice disappears, the ocean is growing. This means there may be more oil production in the Arctic, and the threat of oil spills could increase. Contact with oil will kill polar bears, and the oil business will bring more ships to the Arctic, which are dangerous to polar bears. However, there is good news. It may not be too late to save the polar bear. Here's what people are already doing. First, Arctic communities are trying to reduce contact between humans and polar bears. More lights in public places, electric fences, and warning plans when bears enter towns all help to protect polar bears from humans and humans from polar bears. Second, government made laws that prohibit or limit the amount of oil production in the Arctic. And environmental groups are also creating plans to make Arctic shipping safer. Third, and most importantly, people are trying to stop climate change, and you can too. If you want to help save polar bears, you should use less electricity and gas, tell government leaders your opinion about the issue of climate change, and get involved with organizations that are working to save polar bears. So, to summarize, the main threat to polar bears is loss of habitat due to climate change. Related threats are human contact and industrial development. If people don't make changes quickly, polar bears may disappear.
Okay, class, I'll give you a minute to look at your notes, see if you're missing anything. Then we'll talk about it. Okay, let's see what we got. I like how, I want you to notice how she talked. First, she gave her main idea of what she's going to talk about. And what is the main idea? Can anybody catch that? What is the topic or the main idea of this speech? Anybody want to share?
Polar bears.
Polar bears, but what specifically about polar bears? Are we talking about how much they weigh, where they live, or what?
That they need help for conserving their habitat.
Right. Yeah, that's a little more focused. I like that main idea. This is focusing on the threats that polar bears are facing in their environment and how to help them. Okay, so at the top of your page, you can put that as a topic, the threats to polar bears and ways that we can help them. Okay, Good. So we've got the main idea. Now let's look at your notes that you guys put there. Well, let me get this screen to do the right thing here. Okay, so number 2, what did you guys get as your second topic, or the second point that they gave? Anybody want to share what you put on your paper?
How
Contact with humans, teacher.
Okay, let's see what Alan said and then Carolina. Go ahead, Alan.
how the communities or humans are trying to help them to survive.
Okay. Did you put that on the left side of the notes where it says number 2? Did you put that, how the humans are trying to help them, Alan? If you put that on the left side, then that's not correct, because on the left side of the notes, we
No,
need to
left
put
side is threats.
threats. Right, left side
Yeah.
is threat.
Yeah,
So we cannot put that humans are helping them.
no, I put that one on the right side.
Oh, okay. We're starting on the left side. We're doing number 2.
Oh, sorry.
And Carolina, what did you put?
I put the contact with humans. It's a threat.
Right, exactly. Good. Contact with humans. Contact with humans is the second threat. And on the screen you see they wrote it kind of similar, in a similar way. They said contact between humans and polar bears. So you notice that on my notes, this is not a complete sentence. I'm just writing the main idea, which is the contact with humans. So if you have anything about, for number 2, if you put humans, if you put polar bears and humans, something like that, that would be good for number 2. Okay, and number 3 is the industrial development. You could also put something like the ships that are going in the area, the oil production. You could put any of those type of answers. Oil production. And if you guys, I want to make it here, on your listening quiz, you're going to have a similar kind of situation where you listen to something and then you have to fill in the notes on the page. Okay, so sometimes your answers will be a little bit different from the answer key, but I will read it and I'll take a look at it, and if it's really close and similar, then I'll give you credit. Does anybody else have a question about the left side of the notes? Number 2 and 3. Any questions? Okay, good. Then on the right side, we have 4, 5, and 6. What are people doing to help the polar bears? So we can put reduce contact between humans and polar bears. Or you can put something like make it safer. You can put like safety or safer for humans and polar bears. Less contact. And class, do you notice number 2 and number 4 are related across the line? They're related. Contact, right? They're both about the contact. Number 3 and number 5 are also related. The same idea. Okay, so what are people doing to help polar bears as it relates to industrial development? Well, the governments are stepping in and putting some restrictions on oil production. And then number 6, people are trying to stop climate change. The climate change is related to the loss of sea ice. Climate change is related to the loss of sea ice habitat. Okay, so we've got 3 threats and we have 3 solutions. Okay, does anybody have questions about this part?
No, teacher.
All right, how do you feel about the listening part? Is anybody struggling with their listening? Let me know if this is really challenging or difficult.
Challenging.
Teacher,
It's
for me,
challenging.
it wasn't clear. I don't know, maybe it's a problem of my computer. I need to change it.
Oh yeah, if you can't hear that. Did anybody else have a problem hearing the audio? Anybody else have a problem with the audio? Okay, so Lucia, it looks like it was probably your computer there. And I will let you guys know that that TCC does have some laptops and Chromebooks that are available. I don't know if they still have them because we're in our second week of the class, but there, if you go to the website, there is a place you can request. You can request a laptop and they will give that to you to
Okay,
use for your,
thank you. Thank you, teacher.
yeah.
I'm gonna check them. Okay.
Yeah, that's one option there. Okay, so good. Class, I still have this recording for you. It's available in Blackboard. Sounds like Lan is eating a snack. Sounds like the crunching of chips going on over there, which is good. Make sure you bring food to class, okay? No problems with that. So I just muted your microphone again, Lan. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint, and I want to talk to you about signposts next. If I can get to my screen. Okay, signposts is another word for signals. Okay, here's some examples of signposts. We have first of all, secondly, last, in summary, for example, and also. So each of these is a signal or a signpost. And what is it doing? What is the purpose of signpost when we're talking? It is to signal to the listener what you're going to say next. Okay, so if I say, okay, first of all, and then you know that I'm about to tell you the first thing in a list of items. Okay, if I'm talking and I say, okay, in summary, then you know that I'm about to summarize everything I already told you. So these are signals that we need to use in our speech. And next week, we're going to do a practice speech on Wednesday. Okay, I think it will be fun. It's very informal. We're just practicing these things that we're learning. We're going to have a main idea. We're going to give some supporting points. It's our own opinion, so it's just whatever you think about the topic. And you're going to use signposts to practice signposts, okay? We're also going to use signposts in your lab assignment. Main idea, supporting points, and signposts, okay? So we'll be practicing this a lot more next week, but first I want you to know what it is and why we have them. So here's an example on the PowerPoint screen. It says, I want to tell you why I believe working animals are not happy animals. So that's what we call a main idea sentence. I'm introducing the topic, and in one sentence, I'm telling you everything that I'm going there. I'm telling you the main point of what I'm sharing. So my next sentence starts with, first of all, and then I want to ask you guys the question. Let's see. Maybe Isabel. I haven't heard you in a while. Isabel, can you tell me what kind of information is going to come next? If I say first of all, what am I going to talk about next, Isabel? Turn on your microphone and tell us. Can you just guess?
First of all, the person can approve of this work with them.
Okay, abuse the animals?
Abuse.
Okay, good. So you're giving me one reason why animals are not happy. So they get abused, right? So that's good. So what you're doing, Isabel, is you're showing me that you understand this signpost, this signal, first of all. First of all is a signal telling me and telling you, okay, the next thing that I'm going to say is going to be one point or one reason why animals are not happy, okay? So here's an example that I put. So I want to tell you why I believe working animals are not happy animals. First of all, animals are not in their natural environment, and instead they are pressured to do things that are not natural. So this was my first reason why working animals are not happy animals. Okay, so I have a main idea, and then I have a signpost, and then I'm giving you my first point. Okay, this is the organization that we need to have when we're giving speeches, when we're talking. And like I said, next week we're going to practice this, and then you also do it in your lab assignment. Okay. Anybody have questions about signposts? Like why we have them or what they mean? Okay, no questions. Good. Let's see. Yeah, do we have time for this? What time is it? Oh, okay, we got 13 minutes. There is a section in your book, page 27. So if you want to, you can take a picture of this if you don't have your book. Page 27. I'm going to ask you to do this for homework. The listening audio section is in Blackboard in your textbook assignment. Okay, you will see in blue letters there it will say audio track 1.3. So you go to Blackboard and you click on the audio track and you can listen to the signposts. Okay, so take a picture of this, or I'm also going to post this PowerPoint presentation for you because Lucia needs it. So I'm going to put this PowerPoint presentation in your textbook assignment. So you can come back and look at this page and then do the audio, because I want you to hear how the signposts are given in the speech. Okay? So that's going to be homework. And I want to share with you a quick note about pronunciation, and then we'll talk about what your homework is for this week. So on page 27, also in your book, they give you some examples of pronunciation when we're doing a list of items. So here's the practice. Your voice goes up to show that the list is continuing. So listen to my voice as I'm giving a list of threats, okay? I say floods, droughts, huge storms. So do you notice when I said storms, my voice went up. That means that I'm not finished with the list. I'm going to continue listing more things, Okay, now listen to the second one. The second one is when my voice goes down to show that the list is at the end. So I can say beautiful, powerful, and majestic. Beautiful, powerful, and majestic. So majestic, my voice goes down. That means this is the end of my sentence or the end of my list. Okay? There are listening practices for this type of thing that I also posted in Blackboard. You can go there and click on the audio tracks. But I need one person before we go, before we look at homework. I need one person to practice this with me. I want you to practice making your voice go up like floods, droughts, huge storms. And I want you to practice your voice going down on majestic, beautiful, powerful, and majestic. Does anybody want to turn on your audio and practice these?
Teacher.
Yes.
Beautiful, powerful, and majestic.
Hey, that's good.
Thank you.
Okay, now can you try it where you're not finished with your list? The first one.
Oh, yes. Floats, droughts, huge storms.
Okay, your voice went down on huge storms. So that means you're done, you're finished with the list. But let's pretend that you're not finished. So you say huge storms, you go up with your voice.
Ah, okay. Huge storms.
It kind of went down.
Okay, let me. My understanding is that we use these words because we are to continue speaking. Well, with the same idea or something
Yeah.
like that.
Like floods,
Oh, okay.
droughts, huge storms, tornadoes, earthquakes. Yeah, that means I'm going to keep rolling.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah, so it's just a practice to make your voice go up. Huge storms, and then we're continuing like earthquakes and tornadoes. Tornadoes. That means I'm done. I'm finished because my voice went down with tornadoes. Okay, so that's good practice.
Okay.
Anybody else want to practice? Or do you want to try it again?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
It's floods, droughts,
Uh-huh.
hot storms.
Huge
Huge
storms. Okay.
Beautiful, powerful, and majestic.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Majestic. Your voice went down. That's good. So most of the time we already do this, but some of you might not do this. So it might be a good practice for you. Okay, good. I think we're done for that. You can practice this at home too. As you're listening, you can repeat because the audio tracks will give you practice with these. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this week. Your homework is to finish any parts of pages 23 through 28 that we didn't do in class today. We did about half of these pages. We did the listening, but there's still a listening part that you still need to do. Okay, we looked at the pictures and picked the sentences with necessity, but there's a couple more practice activities. So get your book today or tomorrow and then listen to the audio tracks and try to finish pages 23 through 28. Okay. And then coming up, there's no video lesson on Monday the 7th. Okay. It's Labor Day. I am going to post the assignment for Monday in Blackboard. It will be available this weekend. There's going to be a little PowerPoint presentation and some ideas to help you get ready for your speech. Okay. So between now and Wednesday, next Wednesday, okay, you have 6 days to prepare. And I want you to find a topic from this chapter and give a 2 to 3 minute speech during our video lesson. Okay, now everybody listen carefully. Next Wednesday in our class meeting, we're going to give the speech, but that's not your lab assignment. Okay, lab assignment is different. Your lab assignment is something that you are going to pick that's not in the book. Okay, does everybody understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so good.
Yes.
Lab, good. Okay, lab assignment, you get to choose the topic, but it's not from our book. It's something on YouTube or radio or something. But next Wednesday in our class, we're going to do a practice and we're going to choose a topic from our book. Okay, so when I say choose a topic from the book, I'm talking about some of those discussion questions, like when we talked about, do you think it's good to use animals for work? Yes or no? Why not? That could be a topic that you pick and you talk about. I gave 4 or 5 topic suggestions in Blackboard for today's lesson. So if you go to textbook assignment number 3 in Blackboard, you will see a list of a few topic ideas, okay? So this weekend, I want you to choose a topic from our book, and then I want you to try to use a main idea sentence, and then have 3 supporting points. So if you pick a topic and you say, well, I think that using animals for work is good, then you want to give me 3 reasons why. First of all, and then share your reason. Then you can say secondly, and then third, and then you're going to summarize what you said. Okay, so you're using the signposts and those things. We're just going to practice. Now, if you cannot come to the video lesson here on Wednesday and give your speech, then you are going to record it in Go React. I will leave a link there in the lessons folder. Okay. So either way, we have a practice speech. It's not graded. You choose a topic from chapter 1. The lab assignment is graded, and you do not choose a topic from chapter 1. Okay. Anybody have questions about what's coming up?
No, teacher, no question.
Okay, good. I hope you're getting excited about speaking, because so far you've done a lot of listening. So it's time to start speaking next week in our class. So I put the notes here, textbook assignment number 4. That's going to be posted this weekend. And then next Friday, you've got chapter 1 quiz and lab assignment that are due. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Lan, do you have a question?
No, nothing. Thank you.